perhaps the most famous gesture in Olympic history, they raised their fists during the national anthem.
The Olympic 200 meters gold and bronze medalists had been suspended by the United States Olympic Committee.
I had said that if there were any demonstrations at the Olympic Games by anyone, the participants would be sent home.
Political protests have no place on the medal stand, says the head of the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. Hirschland put hammer thrower Gwen Berry and fencer Race Imboden on notice, placing them on a 12-month probation.
From '68 to 2019, nothing seems to have changed. Athletes are still being punished for protesting racism and systemic injustice. In 1968, Muhammad Ali said he was a conscientious objector and refused to be drafted into the Vietnam War.
You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality.
He was arrested, his title was immediately stripped, and his boxing license was revoked.
Just as Ali's stance became iconic, so too was the powerful image of sprinters Tommie Smith and John Carlos at the 1968 Summer Olympics.
Months later, after Tommie Smith and John Carlos raised their fists in protest at Mexico 1968 Olympics, they were expelled from the Games and struggled to find work moving forward.
Their symbolic gesture inspired millions around the world, but their punishment was swift and severe.
Do you think the Olympic Games are the right place to do this kind of thing? That you ought to use this as a kind of world stage?
We use this so the whole world could see the poverty of the black man in America.
In 1996, when NBA player Mohamed Abdul Rauf refused to stand during the national anthem on religious grounds, he was suspended by the Denver Nuggets and ultimately shuffled out of the league.
Despite averaging more than 19 points per game, Abdul Rauf was traded following the 1996 season,
losing out on millions and enduring death threats. Fast forward to 2016, Colin Kaepernick, as we know, silently took a knee to shed light on police brutality, and to this day, he remains blackballed from the league. And then just yesterday, August 2019, it was announced that US athletes Race Imboden and Gwen Berry have been placed on probation for 12 months for their political protests at the Pan Am Games. So taking all that into account, I want to just ask, how have we moved on from kneeling when athletes continue to be punished for using their platform to peacefully protest? How can it be fair to say that we have moved past racism when any means to highlight racial injustice is met with the firm hand of scrutiny and punishment in order to discourage others? Think about it, right? In 1968, the same year Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, they screamed at Tommie Smith and John Carlos on the podium, "Stick to sports. There's no room for politics." And in 2019, you'll hear the very same forms of deflection emerging from those who would rather pretend we've moved past these issues than face them. And as Baldwin said so clearly, it's because the truth to them is uncomfortable. So much so that athletes continue to be punished when they try to speak it.